Hello everyone and welcome back. So we have started the pathology subject and we were discussing cell injury. In cell injury we have discussed the cellular injury, that is cellular adaptations, hypertrophy, hyperplasia, atrophy, metaplasia and dysplasia. We have discussed this diagram, that what is hyperplasia, hypertrophy, atrophy, and what is dysplasia and neoplasia and metaplasia. Now cell injury. So there are two types of cell injuries. One is reversible cell injury and another one is irreversible cell injury. In reversible cell injury, there is decreased ATP, that is decreased activity of calcium and sodium potassium ATPase pumps, which leads to cellular swelling, that is cytosol, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi bodies, which is the earliest morphologic manifestations. The ribosomal or polysomal detachment occur, that is decreased protein synthesis, plasma membrane changes, that for example blabbing, nuclear changes occur, for example chromatin or clumping, and rapid loss of function, for example myocardial cells are non-contractile after 1 to 2 minutes of ischemia. And myelin figures, that is aggregation of peroxidized lipids. These are the reversible cell injuries. Okay, how reversible cell injuries occur? ATP decrease, which leads to the decrease of activity of calcium and sodium potassium ATPase pumps, which leads to cellular swelling. And what are the cellular swellings? That is the swelling in cytosol, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi bodies. Also the ribosomal or polysomal detachment is reversible cell injury. Plasma membrane changes, for example blabbing, is irreversible change. Nuclear changes, for example chromatin clumping, is reversible change. And the rapid loss of function, for example myocardial cells are non-contractile after 1 to 2 minutes of ischemia, this is a reversible change. And myelin figures, for example the aggregation of peroxidized lipids, this is reversible cell injury. Now what is irreversible cell injury? It is the breakdown of plasma membrane, that is cytosolic enzymes, for example troponin, leak outside of the cells, and influx of the calcium occur, which leads to the activation of degradation enzymes. Whenever the plasma membranes, if there is damage inside the cells, then it is reversible cell injury, it can be reversed. But if the plasma membrane of the cell is damaged, then it is irreversible cell injury. And how it occurs? It occurs by the cytosolic enzymes, for example the troponin enzyme inside the cells leak outside of the cells, and the influx of calcium occur inside of the cells. This leads to the activation of degradation enzyme. For example, this is cell membrane, and here damage of cell membrane occur. Now as a result of this, troponin uh, okay, so as a result of this, the troponin leak out of the cells, and this leak out of the troponin, which is also known as cytosolic enzymes, this leads to the activation of calcium, and this calcium enters to the cells and causes the degradation of the cells. So this is the irreversible cell injury. Now what happens here? Mitochondrial damage occur, which is a dysfunction, as mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Whenever it is damaged, it leads to irreversible cell injury. It leads to the loss of electron transport chain, that is decreased ATP, and the rupture of lysosomes, for example autolysis occur, and a nuclear degradation occur, that is nuclear condensation, and karyorrhexis, that is nuclear fragmentation caused by endonuclease mediated cleavage. Karyolysis, that is nuclear dissolution, and amorphous densities inclusions in the mitochondria. Okay, so this is the irreversible cell injury. Now here in the diagram, the red shows irreversible cell injury, the black shows cell death, and the green shows the reversible cell injury. Okay, so now this is the normal cell. Normal cells, we are having the nucleus, the mitochondria, the Golgi bodies, and whenever there is the membrane blabbing, this is the membrane blabbing, the nuclear chromatin and clumping. This is the nuclear chromatin in normal. This is the clumping of the nuclear chromatin. This is the cellular swelling. Here the cells are normal and small in size. Here cellular swelling is occur. These are the ribosomes which are attached to each other. These are the ribosomal detachment. So all these are the reversible changes. But when there is the rupture of whenever there is the plasma membrane damage, this is plasma membrane, here spaces are shown, this is the plasma membrane damage, and here is the rupture of lysosomes. Lysosome has ruptured here, and here the mitochondrial permeability has increased here, and here the nuclear degradation has occurred. This is the nuclear degradation. So all these are the irreversible cell injuries. Now this, when this irreversible cell injuries worsened, this leads to the cell death. Okay, so in this diagram it is clearly shown